Washington, Miami, the great debate of 1991. We break it down right here at the Voice of College Football. It's 1991 all over again here at MarkRogersTV, the Voice of College Football. Please like, comment below on your thoughts about 1991 or anything in college football. And, of course, you got to subscribe here, lock it in, hit the bell for the notifications to know when we go live. The debates between Miami and Washington, the two undefeated teams that finished that way because back in the old system, back in 1991, Washington, of course, went to the Rose Bowl. Miami went to the Orange Bowl, so they did not play each other. Both went undefeated. There you go. Split national championship, one of many in the 1990s. Technically only three. 1990 with Colorado, Georgia Tech, 91. And then in 1997, the last year before the BCS, Michigan, Nebraska. There could have been split national championships all over the place, 1993, 94 in particular. Okay, let's get to 91. Miami played a very unusual schedule and situation in that they had joined the Big East, but they weren't a full member, and the Big East would not, it was still being put together in a football sense. Therefore, the Big East did not have an official champion until 1993. So Miami still had that independent schedule, only played 2 games within the Big East, but was an official member going forward. Miami's big wins in 1991 against a 10th-ranked Houston team, David Klingler at quarterback, 40-10 win over the Cougars. A number 9 ranked, Florida State team. They won that game 17-16 over one of the infamous wide lefts or wide rights. Can't keep them straight. One of the way directions in which Florida State lost to Miami on a kick, 17-16. Okay, Washington out of the Pac-10 at the time defeated a number 7 Cal team. Big win for them. Cal would eventually go 10-2, finish in the top 10 range. So Washington gets a win there. They defeated Stanford, an 8-4 team. Interesting non-conference game against Nebraska. They beat the Huskers by 15 points, a top 10 team at the time of the game. And then Washington did not play UCLA, one of the better teams in the Pac-12 that year. Look at this slate of conference champions in 1991. Texas A&M won the Southwest Conference at 10-1. Florida won the SEC at 10-1. Alabama also went 10-1, but lost the tiebreaker to Florida since Florida's loss was out of conference. So Florida 10-1, SEC champion, but Alabama out of the SEC also 10-1. And just 1 year later, the two teams would play in the conference championship game, the first ever SEC championship game, which would usher in the Alabama play in the national championship game. All right, Michigan won the Big Ten at 10-1, but they went and played Washington, lost the Rose Bowl. Nebraska was a one-loss team that won the Big 8. Clemson won the ACC at 9-1-1. So you had one-loss conference champions across the board, other than national champion Washington that won the Pac-12. Pac-10 at the time, undefeated. Miami undefeated as an independent going into the Big East. So just a tremendous football season in regards to quality teams out of each conference. One-loss conference champions all over the place. And we're talking about high-powered teams of Florida, Alabama, Michigan, Nebraska, Clemson, Texas A&M. All right, in the BCS era, this is easy. It would have been Washington and Miami, the only two undefeated teams playing quality schedules. All right, let's move it up to the college football playoff era. This would have been difficult to decide because, of course, Miami and Washington are the top 2 seeds in the college football playoff era. Based on schedule, I looked at the schedules of all the teams. I believe Florida and Michigan as SEC and Big Ten champions would have been selected. And I'm not talking SEC and Big Ten right now as the 2 best conferences. I'm talking back in 1991. Probably the 2 best conferences other than the Pac-10 was really good then. Florida and Michigan would have been the 3 and 4 seeds, I believe, both at 10-1 and conference champions, leaving out Nebraska 9-1-1, Clemson 9-1-1, and Texas A&M in a weekend at Southwest Conference at that point at 10-1. Star-studded college football playoff. It would have been Miami, Washington, Florida, Michigan. Canes and the Wolverines play the 1-4 game. Washington, Florida in the 2-3 game. And I think you come out with the same national championship game as the split national championship. I even unveiled the helmets there. Even organized the shelf for this video. Very nice. What a game it would have been. I'm going on a hunch here. Mark Brunell and company won at the Rose Bowl against Michigan in resounding fashion. Miami won a dominant game over Nebraska at the Orange Bowl. Give me the Canes to win it 31-27 over the Huskies. My thoughts on 1991, what it looked like at the time. Split national championship, of course. Move it on to the BCS era, a college football playoff situation with a glut of one-loss conference champions. Give us your comment below, and of course, subscribe to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.